Hello, my name is Kendall Mason, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about why photography should be considered art. So I'm educated on this topic, so I'm enrolled in an art class through MACC and have done extensive research on both sides. So here's kind of my point. So since we're surrounded by pictures all the time, we all have phones with cameras on them, we're on Facebook, Instagram, anything like that, we're seeing pictures and photographs every single day. But we've kind of lost touch with the artistic element of photography. So a main opposition to photography is that it lacks artistic perspective. Why photography isn't art, published by Model Mag in 2015, states, one isn't interested in the real water lilies that inspired Monet. Talking about this Monet painting here. So they make the point to explain art is art because it represents and photography does not. That we see in the artist's view in the painting, but we don't see that in the photography. So my view is I believe there's plenty of artistic perspective in photography. This can be displayed looking at photographs during the Surrealist movement. The story behind this realist Dali Atomicus photo, an article by Time Photo in 2016, tells the story of Philip Halsman's iconic photo of famous artist Salvador Dali. They call it the photo that changed modern portraiture, in both painting and photography. So in this photo here, you can see there's many moving parts as you would kind of see in the painting, but it's captured in a photograph. So this kind of started a point in painting where there was more surrealist elements, but it was also well displayed in photography. So another opposition is, that I probably hear most often, is anyone can take a picture. Kind of like I said, we all have cameras on our phones, and we're all on some sort of social media where we're seeing pictures taken by our friends and family every day. So this statement is true, but can everyone take a good picture? A picture that has meaning, that is visually interesting, and shows a person's unique style? I don't really think everyone can do that. Photography is actually really hard, and it's a skill and craft just like painting. Film photography is completely manual, and this is what most people usually use. So most famous photographs are shot with film, but if they are using a digital camera, it's used manually like a film camera. So you have to adjust a whole bunch of settings, as you can see with all the knobs there, that you wouldn't really have to worry about with a phone. So aperture, shutter speed, and ISO, which is kind of how much light the lens takes in. So there's a lot of things you have to think about whenever you're taking a photograph. So Platon is a very well-known film photographer. History in Front of a Camera by Hasselbalch explains how he has a very simple yet recognizable style. So these are some of his photographs here. He also has done plenty of covers of US presidents. Bill Clinton's probably his most famous, but I thought these probably portrayed his style the best. His subject really just takes dominance over the photos. As you can kind of see, the widespread legs there and the finger pointing at you, you really feel like you're in front of these pictures, and that really can't be displayed in a painting. And he also uses a film, so as you can see, they're kind of a little bit grainy, which gives them almost raw, gives them like a raw effect, and they're 100% real. Another main opposition is photography takes less than a second, while painting and other forms of art take significantly more time to do. So painting definitely does take a lot of time, and you have to be patient whenever you're doing photography, as you do in painting. But also the quickness of photography, I think, adds to the unique element of it. If it wasn't for photography, we wouldn't have some images that have changed the world. They would have taken too long to paint. So photographers and photographs capture a nation and a planet unlike anything else because they are 100% real. So here's kind of some examples that we've seen throughout history. Of course, we all have seen the photo of the mother and her children during the Great Depression, one of the most famous photos of Muhammad Ali, and the man following during 9/11, and kind of just segregation in the civil rights movement are some of the most known topics. But without these images, I don't think we would really get to experience, especially my generation, what it was like to be during those times. So this makes it 100% real for me, and it just really drives in the effect of what happened during those times. So kind of in conclusion, photography should be considered art because of the meaning and the craftsmanship it takes and the pure rawness of the art. Just to kind of go over some of the oppositions in my views. So one of the oppositions is photography lacks artistic perspective. And I think photography has shown us a perspective that we've never experienced before, as I showed in the surrealist photographs. Anyone can take a picture. Not everyone can take a good picture that means something, kind of like the images I displayed up here. Photography takes less time than a painting, so that means less value. If it wasn't for the swiftness of photography, memories and stories would be lost forever. I leave you with, I hope everyone can see why photography should be considered art and why it's important that we have this art form today. So I hope you all learned something. Hopefully you can see why photography should be considered art and why it is important that we have this art form today. So thank you for hearing me today.